Continuing the essentials of business valuation with Bill Ruddock, today's segment is the market approach. And today we're discussing public company comparative transactions, direct market data, the rules of thumb and multiples, sources of information, similarities and differences, and EBITDA is not an accurate measure of value.
The market valuation is quite different from other methods, and as we look at where this falls, we see that there are a number of things that you have to look at. There's a public guideline company for a comparative transaction. What you're trying to do is see how are other companies in my field selling, and what prices are they getting, and what are some of the ratios. And as we looked at the direct market data, that is where you can dig in and find out just exactly what the ratios are. It helps to, come up with some figures. That usually leads to some rules of thumb, multiples, in which people banty about. Problem is that when you look at these, sometimes they range, oh my gosh, within a 50% different each other. So that range of multiples is really kind of deal killer at times too, because it doesn't put you on the right page when you're trying to figure out what your value is. So the sources of some information, and some of this is much better, like with Pratt Stats. They have been in business, and Shannon Pratt has been doing valuations for years and is really quite an authority on this. And he helps to bring some of the information together. BizComps is another one that helps bring it together. And Integra looks at how others are doing so you can see how your business compares with others, looking at it in a detailed fashion. So all of these help to look at this, but each business, as you all know, is far different than the other one. In valuing your business, multiples and the use of EBITDA are frequently inaccurate. EBITDA and multiples, if you have an asset-heavy balance sheet, they'll often look healthier using a multiple because of the way they distort the figures. They don't count for all debt. Because if you really look at what the impact of debt has on like earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, that interest factor doesn't really show you what the factors are. In looking, it ignores the working capital requirements and doesn't take into account, with EBITDA particularly, what those working capital requirements are to keep the business running, as we mentioned earlier. And multiples do the same thing, and they often are very different when you look at one company to the next. It doesn't adhere to generally accepted accounting principles either, because there's some distortion and different ways of computing and calculating the figure that can give people and individuals a chance to do things differently. And it really, none of them are a determinant of cash flow, and cash flow is really the key to the success of any business, as you all know. So we will be looking at this further as we get into some of these comparisons as well. In the market valuation approach, one of the most important things to do in looking at other businesses and comparing them to yours is to identify similarities and differences. This is a Venn diagram that we're showing here. It comes in very handy when you're looking at what things are the same and what things are different, both good and bad, and they can be separated as such. But the most important thing to do is to look at others, and you can reference Robert Morris and Associates, Integra, BizComps, and others, and they will publish percentages that show financial statements for different size businesses. That they won't identify what the actual business is, but it will show you people of a similar size. Then, taking this information, you can compare it how well you perform versus how others and what they have sold for to come up with a value. And this is really the sitting down and doing a reality check on your business and looking at how it compares with others and making a good solid decision what your selling price should be and what you think you could get for your business.
Thank you for watching. Please contact either of us for more information and a free 1-hour consultation.